While people often think that getting paid to ride and tackle is pretty much the concept of football. However, sometimes the adrenaline of the players can increase a little and make the game a little more intense. In this case, who doesn't like to see some physical confrontation in sports? Well, all these things make football a lot more interesting because it makes everyone nervous. In today's video, we are listing down 5 craziest fights in the history of the NFL. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Number 5. Albert Hainesworth Stomp. On October 1, 2006, in the third quarter of a game against the Dallas Cowboys, running back Julius Jones scored on a rushing play. During the game, center Andre Gurode fell to the ground, where Hainesworth took off his helmet and tried to step on Gurode's head. However, he ended up missing his first shot. An additional blow unlocked a severe gash in Gurode's forehead, while missing his right eye. Later, Gurode received 30 stitches above and below his right eye. He later announced that he would not seek criminal charges against Hainesworth. Gurode continued to have headaches and blurred vision for several days after this tragic accident. The video clip showed Hainesworth leaning towards Gurode before removing the helmet and stepping on him. Due to partially blocked images from other players, it is still unclear whether Hainesworth took off Gurode's helmet intentionally. Number 4. Aqib Talib vs. Michael Crabtree. One of the most famous popular fights in NFL history happened when former NFL cornerback Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree exchanged arguments with each other. Aqib joined the Fox Sports host and talked about how he and former wide receiver Michael Crabtree resolved their prodigious feud involving Talib, who broke Crabtree's chain during a game. Talib first explained the origin of how he and Crabtree became enemies. In a story arc that spanned several seasons, Talib said he and Crabtree had a conversation during a game, and Crabtree also threatened him for a meetup in their common hometown of Dallas. Things started to cool down when one of his Broncos coaches gave a speech before the divisional showdown with the Raiders during the 2016 season. Number 3. Chuck Bednarik vs. Chuck Noll. Bednarik, who is nicknamed as Concrete Charlie due to his off-season work in the industry, played as linebacker and center for the Philadelphia Eagles from 1949 to 1962. Bednarik is arguably one of the Eagles' top 5 players of all time. He famously got into a fight with Chuck Noll, who once, as a Cleveland Browns player, smashed him in the face during a 4th down punt. A few years later, Bednarik hit Noll in a match on the pitch after a game, in retaliation for the previous incident. NFL Commissioner Burt Bell fined Bednarik $500 and ordered him to apologize to Noll for the blow. Number 2. Cortland Finnegan vs. Andre Johnson. It was Week 12 of the league when the Tennessee Titans traveled to Reliant Stadium to face the Houston Texans. Eventually, Houston kept his playoff hopes alive, winning 20-0, mainly because of his defense that allowed only 162 total attack yards. But while Houston scored a much-needed win over its rival AFC South, the biggest story of the day was that Houston's best player completely lost his cool. Titans cornerback Cortland Finnegan pestered Texan wide receiver Andre Johnson during Sunday's game. After several low blows, Johnson, who was 4 inches taller and weighed around 40 pounds, finally broke out in the 4th quarter. The 7-time Pro Bowl tore off Finnegan's helmet and knocked the Titan to the ground to start smashing him on the side of the head. Despite the removal and the flagrancy of their brawl, no player was suspended from the league's matches. However, they were fined $25,000 for defaming sportsmanship conduct. Andre Johnson is also regarded as one of the most loved players in the history of the NFL. This was the only time in his 14-year NFL career when he was fined by the league. Number 1. Buddy Ryan vs. Kevin Gilbride. The NFL lost one of its all-time greats when Buddy Ryan passed away at the age of 85. Ryan is famous for doing several things in the NFL. He was the mastermind behind the legendary Chicago Bears defense of 1985. He was the Eagles' beloved coach and also spent a season as head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. The late Buddy Ryan will be remembered for various things, from his innovations on the pitch to the legacy his sons Rex and Rob carry as coaches in the NFL. But he will also be remembered for one of the most infamous side moments in league history. While he was defensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers in 1993, he punched offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride during a game against the New York Jets. Fans were shocked to witness this unexpected side of Buddy Ryan. Alright, with that being said, it's time to end today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. We will see you in our next video. Thanks for watching.